All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready for another episode of the Niven podcast.
So I'm Tyler.
I'm Chris. Yep, that's me.
And that's our intro. So now we're going to get into it. We've been missing for what, 6 weeks, 6 months, 7?
It's been a while. We'll address the elephant in the room there. Like in the last episode, I sort of had a breakdown on the episode.
He was a little freaked out. We were trying to work through some things, and we thought, hey, you know what? Let's get this stress out. Let's just make the world a better place. And we decided global events. We'd go help out the war in Ukraine for a little bit.
Yeah, except for we don't watch the news, and we joined the Russians.
What? It was really cool. So we get to the Ukraine, and we're in our hotel. We land. We get our hotel room, and dudes open the door, and they're big dudes, wife beater, gold chain, ski or what is it? Newspaper boy cap. They're called. He smells like vodka. He looks like vodka. Just shouts in Russian, and I'm just speechless. Me and Chris were just standing there. We don't know if these are the recruiters. We don't know who these people are. And I just panic, and I shout, "I'm the machine!" So then, he's just like, "What did you say?" And I'm just like, I'm the machine." And he's just like, "You got to repeat this. Hey, Freddy, get over here." Russian Freddy, he's fine. Comes over here, and he's like, "Hey, Freddy, listen to this. Tell Freddy what you said." And I'm like, "I'm the machine. I'm all in." I'm just like, "I'm the machine. I'm the biggest dude ever." And he's like, "Dude, this is awesome." So anyways,
I'm a friend of machine.
they were more focused on machine.
Oh, yeah, they were.
So we follow these two dudes, and we get into some we help them rob a train. It's really cool. But we end up in Russia. And we think these guys might be Ukraine. They speak Russian. I think Ukrainians speak Russian. I don't know. But
one of many details we should have worked out before we went over.
Well, they gave us cool guns. They gave us clothes. And what's that place we ran into? Like Dunbark?
Yeah. It smelled so bad.
We were in Dunbark. And I'm not good with a gun. Chris, you're mega bad with a gun.
I had no idea what I was doing.
They're like, "Oh, machine, give him a machine gun." No, bad idea. So I'm just shooting everything. I think I shot mostly Russian people.
I cut my finger on the gun. I don't know how, but I did, and it hurts so bad. It still hurts. Like, my finger's still fucked up.
So anyways, you might have seen the news, like, Russia's kind of like falling back. That was mostly maybe me and Chris.
Thank God we're not famous enough to actually like make the news for like when they're like, "Hey, these people joined the Russians by mistake." Like we really are in that like level where we can do anything we want and nobody cares.
The cool thing was like when they brought us to the front lines. We were in the airplanes and they were gonna drop us down. And I was actually a paratrooper for the waist down for like 6 months. So I knew exactly how to do this.
Oh, man. It smelled so bad. Like, I don't think they tell you about that. Like, when you think about a war zone and you see it on TV, they never prepare you for the smell. It smells so bad in Ukraine.
It kind of smelled like when you're at a concert and you're going to use the porta potty and the dude walks out and he's like, "I think I just clogged that bitch."
Well, there's like sewage lines and all kinds of things that get fucked up. There's all kinds of like weird natural gases coming up from things, from bombs going.
Yeah, but natural gas doesn't smell.
Everything about that place just smelled so bad. Like, I got off the plane, I could smell the war. And then we drove closer and I'm like, what the fuck did we do?
We're getting into some deep shit over there, man.
And I was like, you know what? We're freedom fighters. We're going to go help these poor Russians who got invaded by Ukraine. Because, again, we don't watch enough of the news.
No idea what was going on. It was really cool, though. We met... Oh, God, who was he? We were with the two dudes from the hotel. They were taking us to some camp because they wanted to introduce everyone in the camp to the machine.
Yeah.
And it was like poutine... Like the French dish?
Yeah.
His name was like Poutine.
Yeah, he was their leader.
Yeah,
too.
he was cool.
He was in charge.
Yeah, he was nice.
Yeah, the potato guy was in charge.
He smelled like potatoes. He did. You noticed that, right? Like dirty, rotten potatoes.
Yeah.
Like if you were to mix potatoes with sewage, you get poutine.
And I got one of those like little flag pins that apparently is a Ukrainian flag, by the way, not a Russian flag. Like the blue and yellow ones.
I thought the Ukraine flag was like
red,
blue
right?
on the left, white in the middle, and then red on the right.
I apparently had no idea. I saw it all over Facebook, and I got one of those little blue and yellow ones, and I thought it was a Russian thing because, again, don't watch the news, have no idea what's going on. Except for I decided I needed purpose in my life. So I left the comfort of my home to go to Ukraine to fight the Ukrainians to help the Russians somehow. Because now that I say it out loud, it really doesn't make sense. Because the Ukrainians, I thought, invaded Russia, and we flew to Ukraine to fight the Ukrainians. None of this made sense to me when I thought, but
I think we made it out though, because we're back.
I was
whatever
really
we did,
drunk for a majority of it.
They didn't really have water over there. They kind of just everyone was vodka. It's safer than the water because the lines are broken. You drink alcohol to hydrate. That is what you have to do.
I will say this though, I have to give it up to Tyler because I literally said, "Hey, I'm going through this shit. I need a purpose in my life. I'm going to Russia." I'm going to Ukraine to fight Ukrainians to help the Russians. You want to go? And he literally looks at his watch and goes, "Yeah, why not?"
Yeah, I got the time.
Yeah.
Look, so we're going to be back by 6? What is it, 2?
That's the thing I will remember the most. You looked at your watch, looked at me, looked at it one more time, and then said, "Yeah, let's do this." I was like, okay.
You know me, I always like to stay busy. So if I got free time and I have an offer, I'm going to fill the slot.
The worst part was like trying to explain to that poor woman at customer service on Travelocity where we wanted to go. So like, we can't help you. And I was just like, well, so how do you get there?
Yeah, we just want to go to Russia. How hard is this?
We had to fly into Poland and some Russian dudes we met on the web picked us up.
Well, that was the Freddy guy.
Yeah.
Freddy and friend.
Yeah. But like, you want to go where? Are you sure?
So anyway, we had the plane basically to ourselves because Poland sucks. No one goes there either.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But do you remember we were on the plane and it was like, what, like a 3-hour flight? So we were on the plane going to Poland, and no, it was longer than that.
It was way longer.
But anyways,
you slept for so much.
Yeah,
of
but
it.
I had to wake up to use the bathroom.
Yeah,
and you remember
we were on the plane for like 18 hours. Or
I came out of the
dude.
bathroom and I was just like, "Holy heck, that was the biggest pee ever!" I had to pull that bitch out for a good minute and a half. And you're just like, "What?" And I'm just like, "I'm going back to bed."
Yeah, because it was weird. Like we laid over. We got up to France, and then we flew from France to Poland. And you got up, got into the airport, fell asleep again, then got on the second plane, fell asleep again, and then you asked when we got up the second time if we were to France yet. And I was like, "Yeah, man, you got on a plane." What? You did a luggage claim. What the hell? Like, you don't remember any of it. We drank a lot though. Like,
It was good drinking.
Holy cow.
Really, up until Russia, mostly water. And then they ran out of water. So vodka water.
Yeah. And then that dude sold us those weird pills at that one bar we were at. And I think that's why we both blacked out.
Do you remember those ones? We had a layover in Amsterdam. And we had stopped at that one place like Le Chic Hotel. Oh, no, that was in France. Anyways,
yeah.
We stopped that place in Amsterdam.
Yeah, we never went to Amsterdam.
we were there, and we bought those pills. It was, they were dinosaur-shaped.
Yeah.
Some of the best shit I've ever had, man.
Yeah, I still don't know what that was. But it made me want to fight really hard for the Russians. It was really weird. It was just a weird trip. But we're back now, which is cool because it's nice to be back in the United States. Russia actually paid for us to come back here because they said that the best thing we could do to help Russia is have us be here.
To leave Russia. Yeah. Ukraine doesn't know what we did. America kind of does. We had to talk to a couple people coming back.
Oh, yeah, we did.
But I don't remember a lot of it, so I just know it was a lot of people. They flashed a lot of things in my eyes.
Yeah.
They hold you down for a long time.
So we got back. We took a few days to kind of recoup. And then I was going through our emails. And I did find a few people who emailed questions for Tyler.
Wait, I didn't even check the emails during the
I
weeks.
checked the emails when we got back. And you can't see it right now, but
he's knocking the whole TV over.
I brought the emails up on my phone, and I keep knocking my phone over, and the last time I did it on purpose. Like that. But, so... I figured we'd go through a few of those because I kind of hijacked the last one with my psychotic depression.
All right, so what do you got for me then? I didn't even know there were questions.
Melissa wants to know how long you've been a writer.
A writer?
Yeah.
Huh. I remember I had to have been, I was in school, maybe kindergarten, and I wrote a novel about bikes. I remember first page was all about I like bikes. And I think that's where my writing career started. So it's probably been around 13 years.
Oh, wow. I like this one. Madison wants to know, if you had to go through your phone's contacts right now, who's the most famous person that you could just call and they would go, hey, what's up, Tyler?
Oh, God. Yeah.
So you do know some famous people. God.
I said that probably wrong, but it was more like, oh, God.
You could call God and he's just like, what up, Tyler?
He doesn't usually pick up. I call him on Sundays every now and then, you know.
I know I've seen you with a lot of famous people, and you've introduced me to quite a few. But
I'm trying to get something special hooked up for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. You wait.
The weirdest one was that one time I don't quite understand it, but like there's this one time where we were talking about famous people and Janine Garoppolo waved you down and was like, "Hey Tyler, what's up?" And I couldn't remember who she was, but I knew that she was famous.
Do you know she actually got in contact with me once because she wanted to meet R. Kelly.
Janine Garoppolo wanted to meet R. Kelly.
It is a weird thing. She really appreciates the work he did with those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because like she handed you a Starbucks drink and she goes, "I don't really want this anymore," and then she just fucked off.
So I
want this.
I worked with her on a couple cards a few years back, and
These are the most depressing cards ever.
they were mostly centered around, lost loved ones. But she would always come in with like a coffee, and she'd be like, "Hey, we're going to talk about a lot of dead grandparents today. You can have this." So I think she was just doing a callback.
Comics are really weird. So I figured there was some like weird joke with it. And she like kind of she smiled when she did it. Like this is an inside joke thing, which is, I didn't realize Janine Garoppolo could smile. But Ashley wants to know, are you married?
I'm not. I actually wrote down for this because I like to think of
a
advice.
website if there's interested people.
No, it's a whole list of how I'm going to attract women.
Oh,
yeah.
You want to go over that?
I mean, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. So, women
it
out
seems
there.
like a good time. Ashley's
What's
asking.
her name? Ashley?
Yeah.
So, Ashley,
yep, Ashley.
Would you be impressed if I told you I can ride an ATV for 6+ miles? That's pretty badass. A Twinkie, I can take one bite off the end, slurp all the cream out, and put the lid back on and set it down. I can make a creamless Twinkie. You can't do that every day.
You're attracting women with this.
Yeah. I wrote down bitches love billiards.
Bitches.
So I'm gonna probably get into billiards.
You're not into billiards yet. This is a preemptive plan.
This is ideas to attract women. Into billiards.
Yeah.
Gang shit. That's badass. So I'm gonna
gang
double
shit
down on gang shit.
So you're gonna do twice as much gang shit.
Twice as much gang shit as normal.
The current level of gang shit you already do.
And then I'm gonna just it says dig a bunch of holes. Because that's interesting. That's like, hey, what do? I dig holes in the desert.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I think. So I'm not married, don't have a girlfriend, but I think this is ways to improve this.
So Ashley, if you're looking for a billiard playing, AT driving hole digger,
I'm your man.
we got someone for you. This next question I don't understand. This is from Jake. It says, if you could be a body of water that eats barbecue, would you rather be a dog or a bookshelf?
Now,
what if you could be a body of water that eats barbecue?
Does he mean like an ocean, or does he mean a person made out of water?
I don't know.
You know what? What was he? A dog or a bookshelf?
Yeah.
Think about it. Bookshelf has no body. A dog has a body. So if you made a dog out of water, that would be a correct
eat barbecue.
Answer. Yeah.
And then he wrote, if you couldn't eat barbecue, would it change your answer?
What would I eat?
I don't know.
That's you know my diet. I mostly eat barbecue.
And Ezra asked, are these episodes pre-scripted? I think she just means scripted, because anything that's scripted is done beforehand.
We read this off of teleprompters usually.
Pre-scripted isn't exactly a...
No, it's not scripted at all. I have scribbled notes like it's hard to crucify yourself, and then I run with that.
The weird thing is there's never levels of consistency like when we do these things. Like right now it is 9:30 in the morning, so I just woke up. By the way, I had the strangest dream. That you and I were both working, and we worked in a like...
What, you working? The guy who's been out of a job for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were working in a pizzeria. And we were making pizzas in like some pizzeria in like the Midwest, and it was like a real cookie cutter,
like Chicago style pizza.
Yeah, like a chain. I think it was just like a chain place.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I don't know what kind of pizza it was. It's just like a chain pizza place, like Domino's or something. But it wasn't Domino's.
Generic pizza.
Yeah. And we had a bunch of coworkers, and they're hit or miss. But it was. I just remember you and I being like, this isn't terrible, but this isn't great.
You dreamed about, like, nothing.
Yeah, it was very, very adequate. Like, we were just like, eh.
It's like when you get a Big Mac at McDonald's. It's like, that's a Big Mac. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, except for I had, like, no expectations. But we were just like, yeah, this is alright.
I mean, I've been to places like that. I've worked jobs like that.
Yeah, it's really weird. I have not. I mean, I've only worked a few jobs.
You didn't
before.
like fresh out of high school, like starting a pizzeria?
I didn't. I worked part-time at a grocery store. I worked part-time at an Arby's.
I worked at this place called, like, Gigi's Pizza or something, and it was like a buffet-style pizza, and you could put them on the table, and the customers really liked it. If you could spin them and get a slice to slide off the tray straight onto their plate, it was pretty cool.
That is cool. That's cool.
I never did it once, but I'd imagine they'd be impressed if I managed to.
Like, I don't know. I just never really... I don't know. I never really did too much before moving out here. And then... when I was in college, I guess I worked in the cafeteria at the college. And I remember thinking that was a job that would be a really crappy fallback, because I want to pick a job that really motivated me to like keep going at school because it's like, well, I don't want to fall back on this job. And nobody wants to be the guy who works at the cafeteria when they're like 20 and then like still work at the same college that they flunked at. Like 20 years later. It'd be like just a constant reminder of watching people do the thing you could.
They just look at that guy and they're just like, he could have been an engineer.
And I'm looking at those people going, they're doing better than I am. There's constant reminder of your own, lack of success.
So many questions you got.
I got a few more here. I'm looking through them right now. What do we got? Something else we got going?
I don't really have anything. I wanted to run by a few, we're thinking at Hallmark of doing Zodiac-based cards. So, Zodiacs are entirely factual and 100% real.
Well, yeah.
So they wanted me to write up a couple of those so people could...
Oh, so, you're going to be writing... They're going to be cards and they have,
Yeah. So, if you're a Libra,
You're...
Yeah, I wrote a couple examples. So, Libra would be...
What is that called?
What do you mean?
When you read your...
Fortune, yeah. Wouldn't be fortune teller because it's astronomy. Astronomy's real. Stars are real.
There's another name for those, right? You,
Not a fortune teller?
No, you get your... Something else.
Your palm read?
No.
You get your mind read?
Never mind. I'm trying to think of it's I'm going to read my... Wow, go ahead.
All right, whatever. So, it'll be you're Libra. You buy the card for Libra. You open it up, and it'll say, hey, Libras are known for being young and hip. They are always the first to chase trends. To achieve a better life, try Xanax.
That's kind of funny.
That's a cool trend.
Can you guys say Xanax like that?
I'll choose a generic...
Horoscope.
Generic Xanax.
Horoscope was the word I was looking for.
Horoscope.
Yeah, like a scope, but one that gets paid to have sex.
Or Scorpio. Scorpios have scorpion blood in their veins. They're true warriors, and they constantly need to bathe in the blood of their enemies. And that'll align them spiritually doing so. So that's the advice I give for Scorpios.
If Scorpio has scorpion blood, what does a Cancer have? Leukemia?
They have chemo. They're currently not taking chemo.
God.
That's my life advice for Cancers. Get chemo.
I mean, Hallmark would be better than,
it's a name you can trust. People trust Hallmark.
Oh, dude.
When you get a birthday card and it says happy birthday, you know it's your birthday. You don't get the generic brand card. You open it up, it says happy birthday. You're like, do I trust the store brand? Is it my birthday?
So my wife introduced me to something. We were talking about you. We were talking about the Hallmark movies. And she introduced me to a really fun concept that she does when she gets really bored. And she will go through the Hallmark on-demand thing and video on-demand, and she will find one of the movies, and she will watch only the last 5 minutes. And she does.
You're gonna ruin the whole movie.
It says the same. She do the same thing with Disney movies, with the made-for-TV ones. Because she's like, there's always some villain guy who gets his comeuppance, and when you don't know out of context what it is, we watched this one, and this guy, it was whoa, it's a good Christmas at our house, and then this family pulls up with a stack of gifts, and there's these two naked middle schoolers in a bush being can we have our clothes back?
What?
I'm guessing they were bullies. And, something happened to them to get their comeuppance.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
But it's just, these weird things happen where, somebody is always in this super weird situation that they should not be in. And everyone's just, mocking them.
You said, Disney movies, and I immediately thought, you watch the last 5 minutes of 101 Dalmatians, it's a greedy guy with 100 other dogs stealing one more dog. That sounds awful. You have no build-up. You're just... Why? You have 100. You don't need that one.
Need a dog. It's the same thing with the Hallmark movies. It's just these people getting together or some romantic thing happening. And then somebody being blah, 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 blah. Things are just not going right for me.
Grumble, grumble.
And then a tree falls down on his house or something because he's the bad guy.
Yeah, they always get their comeuppance.
Yeah. But it's just out of context. It just looks like this poor person is just having like the worst luck while these other people are mocking him. It's really kind of funny. I don't know where she came up with that idea, but it's just like, yeah, it's really great if you only watch like the last 5 minutes.
You can't do the last 5 minutes, but there's a period where a lot of the Hallmark movies will have, their female lead and they meet the man of their dreams. But they like to mess with what the man does for his job or like his hobby.
Yeah.
So, sometimes, he works at the Christmas tree farm. Oh, he's the Santa Claus. There was one I saw, he worked in the meat department at the grocery store, and he would rearrange the meat to look like the animals. Oh. And she was like 100% okay with that. And I was like, no, you put that guy in an asylum. You don't marry him.
I remember years ago we used to play this game, and it sucks because like they actually did the exact same thing on the Conan O'Brien show, and it pissed me off so bad because I played this game with my wife where they had 2 shows that were on multiple stations. Like, I swear to God, it felt like round the clock. It was Matlock and Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, heck yeah.
And especially, and if you caught it in the first 45 minutes, they would always be doing something weird out of context. In the last 45 minutes, Matlock's always in court solving the mystery. And Walker's always getting into his last brawl with the main bad guy in the episode. And then, but if you catch him before that, you could just have these moments where it's like, what's Walker doing? Or what's Matlock doing? And like, I remember one time we turned it on and flashed to it. And you see Andy Griffith, the guy that plays Ben Matlock, the lawyer, he's fly fishing in his front yard and he hooks his mailbox. Because he's practicing fly fishing.
Heck yeah.
So he's in his gear, just standing in his front yard. It's kind of like the Garfield minus Garfield things. There's just like out of context. It's like, what the hell is this?
It is kind of weird, though, that you mentioned that Conan stole a game you used to play.
Yeah.
Because I used to play a game with my uncle, Will This Fit in My Mouth? And that was on the Conan show, but it wasn't... It wasn't the same game. They just stole the name. It was weird.
Well, when they merged with NBC bought USA, who bought the rights of Walker, Texas Ranger from CBS. So he took it one step further. He had the Walker, Texas Ranger lever. So he'd pull it and it'd play an out of context clip from Walker, like where he's like looking at DNA or something.
That's cool.
It's like, is Walker looking at DNA?
There was this guy he used to blog on the internet. Do you remember when people used to blog?
Yeah.
And every single day he would post like a video of what he's been up to. And they'd always be like an hour or too long. Yeah. And you could skip to any point in the video. And it's always just him monologuing. But he'll always just say something dumb. He'll be like, yeah, if you put mayonnaise on the outside of a sandwich, it makes it taste better when you grill it. And you're just like, who? Or he's like, the thunderstorm outside I conjured. Would you like to see my collection of wands? And then he'd pan the camera over and he's got a wand building station. You're just like... This guy's magnificent. I love him. He's so strange.
I was just picturing this guy being a middle-aged dude with a real comment, like named Dale or something.
He was... Think of a guy who considers himself a chef. He doesn't make any really good food, but he loves what he makes.
He's just really into it.
He's very alone. He drinks trained. A lot. Yes.
But he does make food that's probably better than some people.
Occasionally, he'll make like a burger or something, and he'd be like, that looks really good. But then the other times, he's just smothering stuff in like jelly for no reason. And you're just, dude, why?
Why? Mayo on the outside and then grilling it.
No, don't do that. It's a banana sandwich. You don't need mayonnaise.
Yeah, I remember I missed playing. What's Matlock doing? That's what I called it. And we'd just turn it there for 5 seconds out of context. And be like, what's Matlock doing? And I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
There hasn't been a TV show like Matlock since. One that's really grabbed the U.S. Because you remember, you came over to my place and we were watching the news back in the 90s. I think it was the 90s. Everyone was watching the beginning of season 7, like, what do you call it? The first episode of season 7? The pilot of season 7? And everyone in the city had like flushed their toilets or something, and the whole sewage for the city like got fricked up.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
There was Seinfeld that had that.
Seinfeld did the same thing.
Well, yeah, Yeah, well, Seinfeld had the thing where everybody flushed.
Or was I thinking Seinfeld instead of Matlock?
Yeah, well, MASH had that problem with their season finale, but Seinfeld had that problem in the 90s when they're in the first commercial break of their series finale.
Yeah, there hasn't been a show like that since.
No, there hasn't. And nowadays, it's weird. Like, I don't even watch the news anymore. I just wait for Netflix to do, like, a movie about something that happened in the news 30 years later. Like, I'm just now learning about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Did you know, and I just found this out, there is another Korea? I just thought...
another Korea?
Yeah, I just thought it was Korea.
Oh, you realize there's two.
There's two
of
them.
I was hoping you were going to say there's three. That's like
oh,
the third
God,
Korea.
I wish.
North Korea, South Korea,
actually
Central
reminded
Korea.
Me, before we went on the Ukraine trip, we were planning for the 9/11 episode.
Yeah.
And we were going to do the reenactment of when the second plane hit the second tower.
Yeah.
And that brief moment between when everyone's like, is there a third tower? Come on, there's got to be a third tower. And everyone just forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had no idea there was another Korea.
Now, I have to know, the one that you knew about beforehand, did you find out there was a South Korea or did you find out there's a North Korea?
No, I just thought there was a Korea.
Which one did you think it was, though? You just thought the same one, like there's an evil dictator guy that made Samsung phones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, he's a bad guy, but he makes a great phone.
But he makes a good Samsung phone.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Cuban guy. Makes a banging cigar.
Yeah. And owns the Mavs.
And owns the Mavs. Everyone loves the Mavs.
Yeah. The Cuban guy that makes cigars and does the Shark Tank.
He's in Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Oh, I know him. He's my favorite guy.
He's your favorite guy.
They actually...
He's there. He's my fave.
The deli I go to has a sandwich called the Mark Cuban.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It sucks.
See, that's what I'm always afraid of. I'd love to have a sandwich named after me. I don't know why, but I would be like the coolest thing ever.
Would you make it a good tasting sandwich, or would you just go hog wild?
See, I would hope that it would be something I would get to like some influencer say in. I wouldn't want to like... Because if my luck, it'd be like a turkey veggie.
You don't want them to be like, oh, iced tea, lemonade, yeah, Arnold Palmer. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want it to just be a marketable thing. But, I mean, it's hard because, like, Reuben's already taken, and that would be, like, the sandwich I'd want to be. Maybe if you found a way to, like, put bacon and, like, fruit snacks on a Reuben.
Put fruit snacks on a Reuben? I think I would want to do, like, a take on an old classic for mine. So, in Britain, there's the toast sandwich. I think you could make the double toast sandwich.
Double toast.
And that would be the Tyler toast.
I don't know why this made me think of it. The fruit snack thing. So, apparently I've been driving my wife a little bit nuts by not having a job and being at home. And there's certain things where you start to get like lose perspective and you start thinking they're big things. Like, I went on a weird binge and I ordered through Amazon because I didn't want to leave the house. Like 15 different types of fruit snacks. And I was going to do a taste test.
That sounds awesome.
I was like, I'll make a YouTube video of me just testing all these fruit snacks. And then I didn't. I just ate them all. But I realized after like the 15th one that, because I bought so many. I was like, every character I could find, even if it was the same brand, I bought multiple brands. But every single little pack of fruit snacks that I opened had exactly 8 fruit snacks in it.
That's weird.
I know.
Now, here's a question, because you were trying so many back to back. Say if you got a yellow one and a different shaped yellow one, did the yellow ones taste the same?
They all actually tasted slightly different from the previous ones. I thought they would all taste the same, but they really didn't.
Thought, because there's like the generic ones. There's like red, purple, orange, yellow. And that's what you get.
And I call Kate, and I'm like, hey, something weird's happening. And she's like, well, what's going on? And I was like, I just opened up a pack from each one of these, like, 8 boxes, and they all had 8 fruit snacks in them. And she just looked at me. She's like, get a fucking job. She was so angry that I stopped her doing what she was doing to tell her. I thought it was, like, a great observation. Like, oh, my God. Like, other people need to know about this. I don't know.
I think that'd be important.
And then, apparently, other people didn't need to know about it. Yeah, that's a true story.
Did you publish your findings in the scientific journals?
Yeah,
I think that's something worth noting. Be like, hey, I bought. What did they come in like 10? So I bought 80 packs of fruit snacks. They all had 8. That's very consistent. What is the standard deviation of a fruit snack pack?
I bought like 160. Yeah, it was so weird. And then I got to the point where like I would pour out some and I'd be like, oh, there's only 7. And then I'd be like, nope. I'd squeeze the bag. It's like one's just stuck in there.
So I had... There was like...
the trash and eat it still.
Speaking of your wife like yelling at you to get a job, there was a brief moment like before I got Hallmark, and I was living with this chick, and she worked, she paid for the apartment, I did nothing. And
you must have played some really good billiards.
I played, I wasn't in billiards at the time. I played on this arcade machine that I bought that she paid for, and it was cool, but there was one day she came in, and I was like on the bed, and I was like hunched over, and I was trying to lick my own nuts, and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, the dog keeps doing it, it's gotta be good.
It's gotta be good. Why else would he do it?
But I wasn't flexible, so she's just like, put your pants back on, we're getting a bounce house.
What?
She was pretty fun.
Why did you marry this girl? Jesus Christ, you got a bounce house.
Well, she was paying for everything.
Yeah,
pretty
she
cool.
She got paid for a wedding.
Nah, I ended up leaving her because she didn't like my lifestyle.
Of just attempting to lick nuts.
Yeah, she wasn't down for that. I was a little radical. I was extreme.
Radical.
At one point, she called me a radical extremist. Like,
yeah,
that's how cool I was.
She's like, I swear to God, if you didn't drive an ATV so good, I wouldn't have even gone out to you to begin with.
You went 7 miles. That's way above 6.
I would not have even dated you to begin with.
Really, she liked it because I had a cool growth.
What?
Yeah, it was coming off my shoulder for a bit, and she thought it was cool.
A weird fucking kink. I got a weird growth. I remember the growth, too.
Yeah. You forget about it, though.
We thought you had cancer. That's what we told everybody.
Nah, it just fell off. It's fine.
Like, yeah, Tyler's got growth cancer.
So I was thinking the other day, though. So I had a relative that died, and they got cremated. And I kind of had the ashes, and I had a whiff of them.
Oh, God.
And I was like, all right, that smelled kind of good. And I'm like, do all cremated people smell good? Like, that kind of smelled barbecue-y.
Jesus Christ.
So I asked my buddy, and I'm like, what does your grandma smell like? And he's like, I don't know, death? Like, all right, so whatever. And I just started thinking, like, if someone got the same sensation I did, where I'm like, Grandma, you smell so good dead. Like, could I market this scent? Could I take this to a perfume company and be like, make my dead grandma a spray?
That would be a really weird spray.
Dead grandma scent? You don't think that would...
No, that would be really weird.
Yeah, but she was cremated. It had like a nice smoky...
I know, but you couldn't just call it barbecue. You had to call it dead grandma scent.
Dead grandma scent.
Oh, man. So I was trying to kind of get my mojo back with the writing thing. And you know how like sometimes people that write, especially write comedy, they'll like go and do like a stand-up routine somewhere. Like do an open mic thing to try to work out some stuff. So I tried that, and I was floundering really bad. And I swear to God, that whole day, like, not one joke landed. And I was like, oh, this is terrible. And then I did that thing where, like, there's audience members, and you get time to kill, say, like, hey, what brings you here?
You badger the audience. Yeah.
And this one guy, so I'm like, hey, you live around here? And he goes, no, I live... I can't, he said he lived like someplace that's like 30 miles away. And he's like, but it's okay. I was like, what? Oh,
it's okay.
But it's okay. Like, he like wanted to kind of reassure me that he wasn't mad at me that he drove 20 miles to see that. I was like, okay, this is going great. And then the next person, I'm like, so what do you do? And like you try to find somebody who's like miserable or somebody who just has something you can like kind of relate to the human condition on. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I'm a doctor. And I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, what kind of a doctor what kind of medicine do you practice? And she goes, what'd she say? She was like adolescent psychology or something like that. It was like she works with like little kids, pediatric brain surgeon or something.
Whoa.
Like that. And I'm like, there's nothing to work with here. And then her husband, I'm like, is this your husband next to you? What do you do? And he goes, I'm a lawyer. And I'm like, yes, perfect. Here's some evil. And then all of a sudden I'm like, so what kind of? And he's like, yeah, I prosecute child sex crimes.
So did you go after him?
No.
Dang.
I was like, okay.
I would have gone after the lady and been like, hey, I have some cool ideas. Can you put these in those brains? Plant these seeds, start them young, get these kids growing early.
And then luckily I got to the next guy and I was like, so, hey, what do you do? And he's like, I live in the city. And I'm like, okay, awesome. It's like, this is...
Yeah. You just ask him, like, what city are you from? And then you wail on that city.
And then I was like, what do you do? He's like, I think I sell air filters over the phone. I was like, you think? Like, what do you... You trying to convince me, or what?
Would you like an air filter?
No, like, that's what he does. It's like, do you know what I do for a living? Can you tell me? I think I sell air filters, so I sell air filters. It was really weird. It was a bad set.
There was this one time, the only time I ever went to go do stand-up, and it was a real avant-garde bit. I got up on stage, I sat down, said nothing. And then I left. They're just like, what? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm a radical. I'm doing stand-up, sitting down, and there's no comedy, there's nothing. And then I left. Yeah, they kicked my ass. There was this dude who's like, after I stood up and I started to walk out, he picked me up, he threw me out, and he said, I drove 30 miles for this. It's okay, though. And then he kicked my ass. But he wasn't mad that he was upset the show sucked, but him getting to beat me up made it better. So I'm glad I could help him.
And then I made a few jokes about Queen Elizabeth being dead that didn't land.
Did you know, actually, so it was like a week after she died, the government of England had frozen her eggs that she had been making since like the 50s.
Yeah. And
they have them frozen, and you could bid on them.
That's
you could artificially inseminate yourself with the queen and have your own royal baby.
That's so weird. Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Like, what the fuck?
They didn't say who bought them, if they sold any. But yeah, there's going to be a bunch of like fake queen babies running around.
Oh god, that sounds awful.
I hope they're used for babies. I don't know if they're going to like eat them or something.
Yeah, I have no idea. I would eat them.
You'd eat the queen's eggs?
Over easy.
Over easy. Side of toast. Whole
Side of toast. Yeah, it was just... That was one of the worst sets I think I've ever done. Just like... I swear to God, somebody brought crickets in there. just to make... They were like, this is gonna suck.
This is gonna suck, I'm bringing crickets.
Like... I'm in a liberal city, and I mentioned getting the vaccine, and I got booed.
That's like being in the South and wearing a red hat and getting beaten up for it.
Exactly. I'm like, how does that get me booed here? Like, what? And then I got the one crowd that's like, I'm living off the grid. You're not going to get me.
You're going to get me. How do they learn about the show if they're off the grid?
I don't know.
That's how far they are off. They just know where to go.
It's like, yeah, this guy's up on stage trying to convince me to get the 5G shot. That gives you... Like, no.
Like, dude, no, it gives you 6G.
It's just an opening to another joke. I was talking about standing in line to get vaccinated. Like, they booed it.
It was a non sequitur, I think those are called.
I've never seen so many pro-COVID people.
Did you know...
COVID's rights activists.
There are people... It was the monkeypox thing. And there was a group of people going around, like, just infecting people with monkeypox. Like, knowingly. Knowingly giving people monkeypox.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah, they were like Hollywood elites. And they would fly to this one island, and they would just, like, force it on these people. It was Epstein was involved. It was crazy.
There's a guy with a "Don't Tread on Me" shirt, so I had to ask him. I was like, "So what are they treading on?" And he's like, "America."
Treading on my balls.